Are your emails ending up in the spam folder or being ignored? Don't let ineffective email marketing stunt your e-commerce growth. In this video, I'll provide a beginner's guide to creating high-converting email marketing campaigns that drive sales and customer loyalty. What's up, guys? I'm Mark Milutin, and over the last 15 years, I've worked with hundreds of D2C e-commerce brands, helping them grow through retention and lifecycle marketing. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you can do, even if you're a beginner, to grow and scale your retention marketing efforts through email marketing in Klaviyo. With that being said, let's get started. Starting off today, let's get into what you can be doing to make sure you don't end up in that greasy, slimy, disgusting spam folder. No one likes to be spam, but the only way we can prevent spam is by implementing best practices. And it doesn't matter if your list is 1,000 people, it doesn't matter if it's 1,000,000 people. Everyone is going to need to watch their spam rates. And if you don't watch your spam rates and you just forget about it, then you might as well just give up, because your emails will not be seen if you start training different email inboxes to put your emails in the wrong folder. We want to be in the right folder. We want to be in the primary folder. And the only way we can do that is by following best practices. Those best practices start off by making sure that your domain is set up right. When you start running email marketing with Klaviyo and you start setting up your domain, you're going to be setting up a subdomain specifically for email marketing. This is going to help Klaviyo or any other ESP that you're using assign an IP address that is specific to that email. That means when you send emails, you're going to be rated based on the performance of your IP instead of a shared IP. Prior to February 1 this year, brands could start sending on Klaviyo without a dedicated IP on what they call the shared IP. And there was really, if you were an advanced brand and you really knew what you're doing, you had your IP set up right. And if you were a newbie just starting something from ground zero, you didn't really know what you're doing, you would be on a shared IP. Big chance now, if you're on a shared IP, you're going to get stuck in the spam filter because you're going to be graded with all the other brands that are running on that same IP. In a nutshell, don't want to get too boring, nerdy email marketer with you. You need to make sure you have these 3 records: a DKIM, a DMARC, and an SPF record. Those need to be attached to your domain and set up properly. If you're working with an agency like mine at Breadloaf with our retention division, Retention Labs, we'll just set this up for you. We do this all day, every day. We have a full domain deliverability team that makes sure this is all set up. After you have those 3 records set up, you need to make sure you have your domain authenticated within your third-party apps. So whatever third-party apps you're using, along with Shopify, they all need to be authenticated within your domain to make sure that you can verify that transactional messages can be sent, right? Shopify will send messages on behalf of you. That's why you need to verify your domain. And those transactional messages are going to be whitelisted and they're going to be treated differently. If you don't do this right, then your order confirmation emails and your shipping confirmation emails may also get into the spam filter. That's why it's important you're taking care of this right now. Now, lastly, you need to make sure that your list is scrubbed, right? You need to make sure that you are scrubbing your list and you're taking any dead emails off of it. We use a tool called Emailable, and I'll also link another video in the show notes here where you can get some more information on how to scrub your list and use email as a tool. These are the things you want to do to ensure success when it comes to getting out of the spam filter. There's a couple other things that we'll talk about for how your emails need to look as well, but this is hands down most important. Now, once we have everything set up properly, the infrastructure, the domain, the boring, nerdy email marketing stuff, then we need to get into automation, right? Now, a lot of people ask, why do I need automation? Do I need it right away? Yes, you do. You need at least 8 different core automation flows set up when you launch your brand. And the reason you need these flows set up is because this is where you're going to be capturing the lowest hanging fruit, right? These are people that are going through different aspects of your funnel, right? Top of funnel, welcome series, bottom of funnel, post-purchase, right? Middle of the funnel, abandoned checkout, viewed website. Like, these are different flows where you're going to be capturing certain people and you're going to be presenting different offers. You're also going to see that these flow emails, because they're so tailored to where someone is within the customer journey, are actually going to have the highest open rates and click-through rates. By having these higher open rates and click-through rates than what you have on your traditional weekly campaign sends, that's going to help boost your overall deliverability. Because if you have higher CTRs and higher open rates, these things will help tell Google, Yahoo, Bing, Apple Mail, all of the big ISPs that you are confident and you are a highly engaged email marketer, right? These things are all important. This data is then being sent back to these big companies and they're going to grade you. And that grading is going to also impact your spam score overall. Next is getting into sending cadence and actually sending campaigns weekly. A lot of smaller brands we work with or that we audit, we audit hundreds of brands a year. They start saying, Mark, well, I don't want to send too many emails. I don't want to wear out my list. If you don't send enough emails weekly, you will destroy your list and you will have to scrub it more often and you will extract less value out of it, right? You don't always have to be selling to someone. You can send really fun emails. I was just listening to a podcast this weekend about the founders of Chubbies, the menswear brand. And they used to do an email every weekend called The Weekender. And this was just a fun email that they could talk about fun, cool stuff and activities and just a funny email you could read on a Saturday morning. It wasn't a sales email. They actually said like, hey, we didn't generate any real revenue from this, but it was a brand building piece. So even early on when they didn't have something to sell all the time and they didn't want to just say, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, they had other things to talk about. So with that being said, you should be sending around 2 to 3 emails a week. The 2 best days of the week to send emails are traditionally Tuesdays and Thursdays. Try to stay away from Mondays and Fridays because, Monday, beginning of the week, inbox is full from a Sunday morning. And then Friday, people are going on vacation, they're checking out of work, and they're just overall not there. Saturday and Sunday can be really good campaign days as well, depending on your list. We find that women's fashion works really well on the weekend, especially with moms, i.e. moms have more time on the weekends to shop. So depending on what type of list you have, it's important to be sending at least 2 campaigns a week. I don't care if your list is just 500 to 1,000 people. Start sending those 2 campaigns a week. And even if it's small, send 1 campaign that's sales-based and one that's content or brand focused. Next, when it comes to building campaigns that actually convert, people open, they read, and they engage with, you need to have one clear objective in CTA, right? We can't say, buy this, buy that, buy that, buy that, right? You can focus on a clear collection. You can focus on a product. You can focus on driving someone to a certain place, a certain funnel, but you can't just have a bunch of chicken shit everywhere, right? You can't be talking about one crazy thing here, then another thing. People will lose focus, right? We want them to keep their focus with your campaign. We don't want them to be going all over the place and not understanding what you want them to do. Most people, when they're reading emails, they're using literally half their brain, right? Trying to comprehend your marketing communication, and they're not really fully engaged. It's not like they're at a lecture or at a music concert or reading a book. They're getting some marketing promotional information from you and they're going to skim through it. If we make it harder for them to comprehend what it is through a skim, they're not going to take an action off of it. So clear CTAs are super important. Next, when it comes to copy, less is always more. Also, you should be writing at the 2nd or 3rd grade level. Like I said, people are skimming. Make it easy to read. Don't have massive blocks of copy, right? You don't want this to be a dissertation. You don't want this to be a blog. You want this to be bite-sized pieces of information with clear CTAs, written very simply. So when someone's skimming, they get the main objective of it and they can click through, right? And go somewhere else. Next up, do not use too many images. The more images you use in the email, the more chances that you're going to get flagged as spam. Now, in e-commerce, we can't get away with just sending long form text-based images like what you can with B2B or in SaaS or in info and coaching industries. We need to showcase our products. We need to use images. And with that being said, there is a mix, there's an art and a science of how many images we use and how long they are. You know, at the end of the day, you don't want to just chop up too many things and make it too long. You want to use images where you can, and you want to keep an email focused and bite-sized, right? Making a landing page out of an email is never going to do you any good because someone's not going to go past the second or third scroll. We've ran hundreds of tests on this stuff, and we notice the first through the third scroll is the most important. Keep it very, very simple. Also, in a footer, a lot of times you'll see social media links and this and that. Just get rid of all that stuff. No one clicks on that, and just more images in the footer that are going to potentially mark your email as spam. All right, next, when it comes to design, keep the design simple and engaging. Make the CTAs easy to click. Make the copy easy to read and bold. You want to bold out things. You want to make it bite-sized. You want to make it run through. Make sure that the email has flow and meaning, right? You want to be using templates, right? You might have 3 to 4 different templates that you put in a rotation, and these templates will make it easier for your design team to actually build campaigns, right? You want to turn your retention system into a flywheel, right? You want to have a brief, you want to have a strategy, you want to have copy written, you're going to have it designed, you're going to have it built out, you're going to have it tested, you're going to report on it and look at the performance. If you start just doing random things all the time and there's no variations on a theme, it's going to be very tough for anyone to actually execute, whether it's you, a team internally, or an agency like myself. Keep it simple. You want to build a flywheel, you want to make it simple, and you want to iterate on performance over time. All right, next up, when it comes to subject lines, the subject line sells the open. That's it, right? A subject line should be a little baity, it should be a little clicky, but its main goal is to get someone to open, right? The moment you start trying to make it boring, too long, to this, to that, you've lost. The main objective of the subject line is to sell the open and get someone to read your email. That's it. Now, when it comes to the email body, when someone opens that email, the main objective of everything we've been talking about with design, copy, strategy, messaging is to sell the click. We want someone to get out of the email as fast as we can. Get them to a landing page, a product page, your website, whatever it is. We want them to get there because when they get there, we have a higher chance of them actually purchasing. And the main reason we run email marketing in the first place, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool things we do with email, but the main objective is to drive top line revenue. This is going to be the most highly profitable channel you have in your whole D2C business. It's going to be one of the most valuable assets in your whole business overall. So treat it that way, right? Drive revenue, extract value out of this list, and make these campaigns very profitable. But remember, mastering email marketing is an ongoing process that requires continuous learning and optimization. If you're ready to take your email marketing to the next level, check out the link in the description below to see how my team and I can help you grow and scale your e-commerce business. We've worked with hundreds of D2C brands over the last 9 years since we've been in business, and we would love to help you out as well. And if you'd like to learn more right now, watch my next video on creating a Klaviyo campaign calendar for e-commerce stores. See you guys there. Love you all the time. Leave comments if you have them, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.